Hey guys, Thomas the Jr. here, aka Mustached. I'm here to review Chapter 3, John Wick, or John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. This is mainly a follow-up to the action-packed series that is John Wick. I've seen parts of Part 1, I've not seen that in its entirety. I've seen Part 2, so I figure why not see Part 3, and it's as action-packed as you would expect, as John Wick is being hunted down once again, or for the first time, as he is excommunicated from his group, or the slightly different term that they use. This allows various different assassins to make their way to him to try to kill him, claim his 14 or 15,000 bounty, and yeah. It's a lot of action pretty early on. It is non-stop action. There's a lot of gun shooting, a lot of sword swinging, a lot of all of the stuff, a lot of library killing, various different locations. As soon as he's done with the library and killing a guy with the library book, he proceeds to make his way over to like the stable, kill a guy with a horse, and various other guys along the way, kill a guy with an axe. The death count to say it is deep in them double digits. But things, as he's making his way, he manages to convince some people with certain coin exchanges that and other significant relics of this universe, if you will, that he is in good terms with these people. So he's able to finally get some breathing room, that is to say the very least. He eventually comes across I believe her name is Samantha, but she's played by Halle Berry, who has these dog companions, and he's able to convince her to tag along and help him find this sort of guy who's, according to this universe, above the table. They keep referring to this table. This group that is on the table, above the table, and underneath the table are the three varying terms that they use pretty significantly throughout this movie. So he goes to find this Samantha, or I'll just call her Sam for short. So they make their way to, I forget what area they headed into, but it was essentially to get information about this guy, and in order to fulfill this information, this guy, I think, killed one of her dogs. I think she had 3, and then he gunned down one of them to 2, or he like shot one and hurt it. I'm not sure which one it was. I forgot which one it was, but she still had the 2 dogs, and then she like shot him down, but not to death. And then as they make their way out after taking down that guy, the rest of his guards try to kill them, I should say. So Wick and Sam, for short, fight their way through gunning, dogging, using the dogs to bite some crotches along the way, use some stunts of like having the dog go up on the wall and then take like the guys down that way. A lot of more gun action, etc., etc. So eventually John is led to the desert, where he is led to roam the desert until he's nearly exhausted. He does so. He finds this above the table guy who essentially says, like, you could either die here or you can continue to essentially do what you do, which I find a little bit odd, but he does agree to do this. Even still, all the while he's been chased by some bald guy, fish market assassin, because this other chick, I forget what the term they use for her is. Had it in my notes, but I'm always afraid to pull up my notes because of the lag. And if you want to help me prevent future lag, you can always check out my Patreon, which will be in the link in the description. that will be set up to help me get another laptop so I can have my notes on another screen so I can look at that and not have that interruption happen ever again. So anyways, this bald guy's been like chasing them all the way. He eventually comes to face with John Wick, who gets ready to kill him. But he manages to make it all the way back to his little hotel where like no killing can take place. He talks with his leader about like what's going on. And this is after he went back to like take his job back essentially. So this girl who has been taking out various members of the table or this little group in New York, like she like almost takes down John, I think his name is John Fishburne, the guy who essentially plays Morbius in The Matrix. I forget what his name is in this. I think it's like he just refers to himself as the King or the Pigeon Master or whatever. Nonetheless, he does eventually make his way back to the building. The building, their system gets like shut down so that killing can take place in it. A squad of unit comes to take John Wick down. John Wick is allowed his weapons as the manager of that building and his little friend, the bell ringer, also join in. He joins in the fight as the manager sort of just sits back and relaxes as Wick takes down these heavily armored guys. He eventually makes his way back to get more ammo. And afterwards, he makes his way up to face the girl who's in the roof or whatever, or near the roof. Thus, he does have to face these other guys who the bald guys acquired, and they happen to be big fans, and they keep letting him live. Because they're such big fans, and I did think that the ending of this movie felt a little out of place by comparison to him just outright killing people. He does kind of just stab the leader of this group to death, probably. So he makes his way to the group. A temporary parlay is made. When he makes his way up to the roof, he's up there with the manager and the bell ringer, and then the lady makes her way up as well. The manager shoots him down, and then the manager's like, "Oh, we can go back to the way things were. Trust me on this, or you don't want a war or whatever." And then she makes her way back down. She looks out for the body, does not find it, makes the contact call saying that a war is about to break out since John Wick is not dead. Then we get a little stinger for John Wick 4 that John Wick ends up meeting with the King after he was like slashed like 7 times. So there's your action-packed movie. I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. And I forgot to give the TMNT versus Batman a score. Whoops. I would have given that a solid 7 out of 10 too. But if you did enjoy this review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also make sure to check out those links in the description. One will head you over to my Discord server, the other to my Patreon page. Any donations are going to be directed to getting me another laptop. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye.